It's Jen. This is another Jen is Zen episode of Reframing Me, and I am your host, Dr. Jennifer Brubaker. In these short bits, I give you something to meditate on or journal about. Today, I'd like you to think about this. Kindness realigns you. Kindness opens your heart to joy. Joy clears your lens so you can see the world through love. Love awakens gratitude, and gratitude builds confidence, the kind that softens your energy so you can meet every moment with grace. Imagine if in every interaction today, you could begin with kindness. What kind of energy would you carry with you into the world? There was a moment lately that's kind of been stuck in my head. It started with a conversation that honestly, it didn't feel like a big deal at the time. My husband and I were talking, and he made an offhand comment, something about how I always describe people as being nice. He wasn't being unkind. I guess he was just observing. He said, "You always judge people by whether they're nice." And I'm like, well, yeah, don't we all? But he said it like it was somehow too simple, like I was using a child's moral compass. But the truth is, he's right. I do lead with that. I want to surround myself with people who are kind, people who make others feel seen and safe, people who bring light into a room instead of just sucking it all out. And maybe that is childlike, but I think that's the point. Because remember when we were little, back before we knew how to categorize people as being manipulative or ambitious or, narcissistic, the world was simple. Someone was either nice or they were mean. Those were the only labels that mattered. Nice was like the highest compliment. It meant you were good. You shared your crayons and your toys. You smiled at people. You didn't make others feel small. You included other kids. Somewhere along the way, though, we outgrew that word. We decided that nice wasn't enough, that somehow it was shallow or even naive. Cognitive complexity gave us all of these new ways to label people, to evaluate their motives and their patterns. And sure, yes, that is totally all part of growing up. But I think in that process, we also lost something pure and essential because being nice, or I guess being kind, is probably more accurate. Being kind isn't simple. It's actually kind of revolutionary because the world right now feels like it is just spinning out of control faster than it ever has. And I don't say that in a good way. All of the headlines are so heavy. The comment sections are toxic. We are all walking around like we are live wires that are just overloaded and short circuiting on each other all the time. And at the center of so much of what is gone wrong, whether it's in politics or in our relationships, in our community, but at the center of it is a massive shortage of kindness. When did being unkind become acceptable behavior? When did snark and cynicism replace empathy? When did honesty become a cover word for cruelty? We have normalized rudeness in the name of authenticity. We have applauded aggression as leadership. We have even started electing people based on how effectively they can humiliate others. And I think that that's when things began to crumble. Not all at once. It wasn't a one and done thing. It happened slowly and it happened quietly. When we started overlooking and then when we started accepting, unkindness in our friends and our leaders and even in ourselves, I have been carrying kind of like a weight, and I'm sure that many of you can understand this too, but I've been carrying this weight that I really can't describe around with me for months now. I wouldn't say it's burnout. It's more like a slow suffocation from, that's so dramatic, right? But it's more like a slow suffocation from the heaviness of everything that's happening around us. Every day, it's like another tragedy, another outrage, another moment where I think, how did we get here? And the even harder question is, how do we get out of here? And the worst thing is that I feel like I can't fix any of it. I can't stop wars or violence. I can't stop hate or misinformation. I can't force compassion in places it's gone missing. And that helplessness, that lack of personal efficacy, it wears on me and it starts to make me feel small. But recently, something kind of shifted, something small, but it's gone and it's kind of changed everything for me. You know how we have been taking care of Bawa, our international student, and helping him out getting his back fixed and rehabbed. And I've been with endless doctor's appointments and referrals and imaging and physical therapy and paperwork. And it's kind of been a part-time job, right? Just coordinating, trying to make this boy better. I didn't think about it much. It just kind of like felt like what I needed to do. Like I haven't questioned doing all of it. I care. I want to help him. I want to make him feel better. Somewhere between all of these phone calls and the waiting rooms, I realized that I have interacted with dozens and dozens. I wouldn't even want to count, but dozens of people, whether they're like schedulers or nurses or billing or technician or doctors or insurance. And not one of those dozens of people, not one of them has been rude. Every single person who I have talked to, who we have dealt with, every person has been kind. Now, I hate to say this, but that's not normal. Statistically, that feels actually impossible, but it happened. And the more that I have thought about it, the more that I realized they were being kind. They were meeting my energy because I was calling or I was visiting or I was advocating on behalf of someone who I care about. I've been speaking to them with warmth and patience and gratitude. I have been kind to them, and they have been kind back. Kindness is contagious. It's simple, it's real, and it works. So, since I realized this, I've made it a little experiment, just trying to lead with kindness in everything that I do. Smiling at people, even when they're scowling, complimenting a stranger's outfits, saying thank you and actually meaning it, holding a door for somebody or chatting with someone in an elevator, helping one of my students fix an error instead of taking off points. And through it, I've learned three things. First, being kind is easy. It doesn't cost time or money or energy. In fact, it actually creates energy. Number two, kindness invites kindness. 9 times out of 10, people meet you where you are. Number three, kindness, it generates joy. Not like external happiness, but pure joy. That internal warmth that feels like a light from the inside out. And I think that joy is the first step in energetic alignment. Because when I'm kind, I feel open. I feel connected. My heart feels bigger. And that is where joy begins, not in big accomplishments or moments of external validation, but it begins in those tiny exchanges of energy that remind us the world is not all bad. There is still good. and we are the ones who can create it. So I have come to believe that kindness is the most accessible form of energetic alignment. When you're kind, you shift your frequency, you lift your heart's vibration, and suddenly joy doesn't feel so far away, because joy isn't something that you achieve. It's something that arises when your energy is moving freely, when your heart is open and giving. And from that joy, something else happens. Joy clears the lens through which you see the world. It softens those edges. It changes your perspective from suspicion to possibility. You start to see the world through a lens of love. And when you see people and you see life through love, you move differently. You think and behave with more confidence, not because you believe that you're better than anyone, but because you know you're connected to something bigger. Confidence doesn't have to scream. Sometimes it just quietly hums with the self-assurance. And carrying that kind of confidence, the kind that is born of love and of joy, it softens your energy even more. You begin to greet life with gratitude, and gratitude turns ordinary moments into evidence of grace. Grace doesn't mean you don't have boundaries. It means you don't carry other people's chaos into your own peace. It means that you feel an empathy for them. You feel compassion. Simply put, the way that I see this energetic alignment is kindness opens the heart to joy. Joy clears the lens so we can see with love. Love inspires confidence in our thought, in ourself, and in our purpose. Confidence softens our energy and allows us to see gratitude and to move with grace. That's alignment. It's not about balance. It's not about trying to keep everything perfect. It's not rigid. Alignment is fluid. It's movement. It's a harmony. And kindness is how we begin. It's the ignition point for everything that follows. We have forgotten how to be kind. And it's not because we're bad people. It's because we're tired. We're overstimulated, we're underrested, and we're drowning in fear and in outrage. We have been conditioned to see every interaction as somehow being transactional or being competitive. But I think people are starving for kindness. We crave softness. We crave warmth. And the good news is that I think we can be the ones to bring it back. And it doesn't take some big movement or a grand gesture. It just takes presence. It takes noticing. It takes the decision, moment to moment, the decision to lead with heart instead of with ego. Kindness is not weakness. It is not being naive. It's actually one of the most courageous things that we can do right now. To choose connection over division, to choose empathy over apathy, to choose compassion over cynicism. Maybe we can't fix the whole world, but we can start with the world that we encounter. And every personal revolution, every behavior, every shift, every reframe, it starts with alignment. And alignment begins with kindness. Kindness is the door. Joy is the light that pours in. Love is the view that comes into focus. Confidence is the step forward. Gratitude is how we meet everything in our path. And grace is the way that we walk through it. So start small. Be kind, even when no one notices, but especially when no one notices. Because kindness is contagious. And it might just be the medicine that the world needs most right now. Because kindness realigns you. Imagine if every interaction today began with kindness, what kind of energy would you carry into the world? Thank you so much for being here today and always. If the show has resonated with you, please share it with a friend. That's how we will grow our community. Find me on socials. It's Reframing Me everywhere. And until next time, be well and communicate.